Well, an opportunity to look out for our Dynoworks Super Sport class up there on the dummy grid at the moment, 28, and a pole position for Shane Richardson, 61. Cam Hudson next to him, looking outside to Aaron Hesson, and go to Damon Rees. Somebody like Dan Meadham sitting back there a third across on the second row. Oh, good start though, Aaron, not a good start. So making the clean break was Shane Richardson, and Shane looking good to get away there. So nice to watch with Shane as he gets a break on the field this time. Great work to muster the forces, that's for sure. So there it is, Shane, and yes indeed, Shane Richardson to get away. Looking at the battle, and it's a tight one again with Cam Hudson straight away behind him. Look at that from young Demon Damo. In fact, Damon Rees, yes it is Damon in there. Damon Rees keen to look out between, of course, our 9 and 10, our two Honda heroes out there with Damon Rees and Jeremy Holmes. Similar bikes for the Tony Rees Motorcycles, Honda CBR 600RR, and of course the Southland Motorcycles, Honda. So good work in there, and Jeremy and Damon, the two of them. Jeremy with the better start, and Jeremy of course on that front row as well. A fantastic run from him yesterday. Talking to him about last night, he said he didn't even feel like he was pushing it that far, and was pleasantly surprised to see how well he was doing, and at one of his better performances here at levels by the result that he achieved, but in fact not by the effort that he put in. So it just goes to show sometimes it's not directly proportional. But there we are, a very good top three as we go to it. It is the Kawasaki ahead of the Yamaha, ahead of the Honda. Nice to watch indeed as they go through, and keen to look out for it, and confirming it was Jeremy Holmes in there. That poor start from Damon Rees has played up with him, and he's back to a 6th place, so good work. But there you go, in fact that's the front row epitomised, so great to see the three that were on the front row, and in fact they were 1, 2 and 3 on the front row by qualifying, and that's exactly the positions they're holding here at the moment. Nice to watch. In fact, it was only Aaron Hesson. Aaron got a disappointing start, and he's the man back there at the moment in about 5th place. But I tell you what, Daniel Meadham's done some great work for qualifying, but he's got a good race here at the moment on the John Jones steel corner to have made his way straight in there into 4th place. So Spider, another class, is giving us an idea that we've now got a different circuit levels compared to the likes of Teretonga and Ruapuna, and some different riders to perform here today.
Different riders and different bikes out there as well. We've got the Kawasaki followed by a Yamaha, followed by a Honda, and then we've got the 2 Suzukis in there. So it is a shame we don't have young Alex Phillips from Australia. Unfortunately had a crash last weekend and is sidelined due to minor injuries. They've decided to sort out the problem with the bike and that sort of thing. So 4 bikes in the front 4, and quite tight there. Ken Jones is looking up on the inside to try and get through on this Kawasaki, the bright green Mirrortone Wainui Joinery sponsored Kawasaki 600 of Shane Richardson. Shane had a massive ride at the Cemetery Circuit 2 years ago and got a second on his first ever race in the 600 Formula 2 class, and unfortunately a bit too many crashes, and was leading the Suzuki Series this year, but not to be. He had a crash at Wanganui, and Dan Meadham took that, and Dan had a bit of bad luck at Ruapuna this year, having one crash there and run off the track last weekend, and stayed upright, but had to fight through from the rear of the field and get through there. But in terms of points, Shane Richardson was sidelined with I think a blown motor in the last race last weekend, but they've sorted that out. Seth Devereaux in Tapanui spent 9 hours rebuilding motors and that, and it looks like it's all paying off for the Kawasaki team.
And in fact, in the words of Seth, he said, well, it's only been a piecemeal put together. They've got bits of 2 engines to try and make up one, and have had 2 lots of burned out valves and different cylinders through different engines. Has been very unusual, but something that I'm sure they'll be able to get sorted out. So good consistency as they perform so well off the track. And there's a very good 3 back to the 2 Suzukis, then with Damon Rees up there, then looking to the man himself, Seth Devereaux on the well-performed Dwayne Service Centre Force of Nature sponsored Spectro Oils Kawasaki, looking to Ted Collins, yesterday's birthday boy, Roy Walker Holt in there at 9th, and Rex Mincher with a very good 10th place there for the Body Fuel Cafe Wings and Wheels Hyundai man from Taupo. So good effort for Rex. And we want to point out Ben McConaughey as well. So this is Ben's debut ride in super sport racing at a national level. This young man, ex-motocrosser, who's gone road racing. We saw him perform so very well at one-off events. He went to the Burt Munro with a motard bike. Motard events they were featuring. He was certainly in the top quarter of the field in those, but he turned up with the Triumph 675 at Invercargill in November last year for the 10th anniversary Burt Munro, and really performed to high success, including going well in the street race until some drama for him. But this is his first ride and campaigning here today on the Andrew Rudd owned Dynoworks machine. Dynoworks, of course, our sponsor as well of this quality field, as we watch 1, 2, 3 go through. Kawasaki, Yamaha and Honda, still the best 3. Then the gap back, and what a gap it is. And we've watched Damon Rees keeping on the tail of those Suzuki boys with Seth in there, and then looking out for Ted Collins, an improvement for Ted. I get the idea perhaps Ted, a different circuit as well, so the Australia might be a little bit more adaptable to this one. Spider Staples.
Yeah, certainly, and he got a bit beaten up at the a big crash he had when he was taken out at Ruapuna, so it's good to see him settling out. It's absolutely massive to see these Australians coming across and racing, and I tell you what, out on the track now, we had a lap record of 104.545. That's Alistair Hugenbosom. Nowhere near that lap time. We've got three guys in the 105, sorry. A 105.147, that's Cam Hudson sitting in second place, a 105.228. For Shane Richardson out in the front, and a 244, 105.244 for Jeremy Holmes. The Hondas are on the hunt. You'll see both that Honda in third place, Jeremy Holmes trying every lap, trying to get past Cam Hudson, and there's also the Honda battle behind the two Suzukis. There's Suzuki at 34 of Dan Meetham, and I think it's 14 of Aaron Hassan with the number 9 Damon Rees there on the tail end. So gaggle of riders, three riders out there breaking up a little bit there. There's probably 8 to 10 bike lengths, probably 12 bike lengths between second and third, and a similar gap in that bunch for fourth, fifth and sixth. And then we go back to Seth Devereaux. Seth Devereaux last weekend absolutely on fire in the dry on his home track. Lives about an hour away from Invercargill on his home track, and what he did was he rode on the same tyres all weekend. Another team had problems with tyres, and Seth, instead of thinking right, figured himself, he gave his tyres away, so running on other tyres. There is a tyre restriction for this weekend. 2 fronts and 3 rears, and you must, your qualifying tyres are what you start your first races. And throw the old curveball in that we now one race, we've now deleted one race in this round, so that's a bit of an interesting scenario for tyres. So I'm expecting everyone to have brand new tyres for every race.
Indeed, so there we go. Shane Richardson, Cam Hudson, Jeremy Holmes are our top three, and a representative of each brand there. Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda, back to Suzuki. Suzuki with Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki in there. So nice run for our top 8. Noticing the gap from third to fourth is extended, so there's the trio dragging each other on. Jeremy Holmes just dropping off the pace there a little bit. In fact, you could say a little bit for Daniel Meetham. I just get the idea that gap just opening up a little bit in favour of Shane in the front. And there we go now with Aaron, looking out for Dan, in fact, sorry, with Dan over Aaron, so it's the other way round, and just getting the idea that we're seeing that gap close down. Look out for young Aaron Hassan. That is a sensational run for him through Castrol at the moment. Look at that, in fact, if he didn't quite get the right run out of that corner, he might have taken. In fact, look for the slipstream, I'm sure he's going to try and pull it on the Tillery motor straight this time. No, those longer legs of that best performing 600, the fastest 600 out there of Dan Meetham. He knows it, and certainly everybody else in the field knows he's got the fastest bike, but young Aaron, that is a sensational ride from the young Aucklander, whose brother Jaden, of course, is a reigning Superbike champion, but not here to defend his title this year, so that one wide open as well, as is, of course, our 600 title, with potentially a change of guard at the top as well. So keen to look out for that with young Damo Rees on the Tony Rees Motorcycles Honda, with Kawasaki, Seth Devereaux, and Suzuki's Ted Collins making up an awesome top 8 in our group. So effectively we've got a 3 and a 5 in this gap, and here's the 3 as we look at Cam Hudson just pulling away from Jeremy Holmes there at the moment. Spider, he's the one that'll keep Shane Richardson honest, but Shane Richardson almost looking like the Sloane Frost of what we watched at Ruapuna 2 weeks ago, although getting pressurised, doesn't look actually to be really under any real challenge.
Yeah, Shane Richardson is certainly maturing as a rider. He had, unfortunately, he was sidelined very first practice on Thursday last year at Ruapuna. We lost 3 of the top 600 rides. Shane crashed out and bumped his head, which means a stand down of, I think, 6 weeks, which means he was out for the season. Adam Chambers in from Perth broke his leg, and we had Seth Devereaux car crash out and broke his leg as well. So he needs to, he's learning the maturity, and the fact is you can't win a race in the season in the first practice session. So Shane Richardson, the team's getting stronger and stronger. The bike's looking $1 million, and Cam Hudson too. He's just got to ride with his head, because he leads the points at the moment. We've got Cam Hudson on a 128.5. He's in second place is 110. Dan Meetham, third place on a 76.5. Shane Richardson, Damon Rees 72.5. Aaron Hassan on 69. Aaron Hassan is absolutely stoked. He said, I talked to him yesterday, and he said, this is my first front row start here in the South Island. So he's just getting better and better, and despite having a big moment coming out of Castrol during the qualifying and thinking he was going out in the grass, he's lost none of his fear. And there was a long time where Aaron Hassan was always the second brother of Jaden Hassan. Well, I don't know. Now they stand alone. They stand alone as both tall and important people in our motorcycle racing. And coming across lappers, he's down the back straight, but no problem with the lappers. The third, fourth, fifth and sixth bike is spread out quite a bit. It is Aaron Hassan with, he's got past Dan Meetham and Damon Rees there on the number 9 bike. Damon a bit ill this weekend as well. He said he didn't feel very well. Yeah, not as sharp as he might have liked to have been, but he is feeling slightly better today, so hoping for good things. And of course, for riders like him and Daniel Meetham, they've been outside of the, as it were, the comforts of home now for over 2 weeks since they first
left the North Island and made big trips down here, so I'm sure they're going to look forward to getting back into their own beds and getting a little bit of R&R. Very much a physically and mentally demanding lineup in this kind of a sport as well. So there we go, looking at our 28.61 and our battle between them. 0.3, that is nothing, folks. 0.3 back to Jeremy Holmes, content with the third place now. As we look back to Aaron Hassan ahead of Daniel Medham, go to Damon Rees this time. Keen to look out for Seth Devereaux. No, in fact, Seth's dropped off. Seth's gone from there. So Seth Devereaux dropping back. That is Ted Collins. Where have we seen Seth? In fact, John Crawford's looking down his bike. He's got something wrong. So John looking to pick up. Now we go to Biggles. That's team Marcus Begley ahead of yesterday's birthday boy Roy Walker Holt through there. And as all this goes on, we're seeing Seth drop away. So he's somewhere on the lap, and it looks to be out of our view. So potentially McKissick, the outside curve here over on the western side of the circuit. That is maybe the point. Luckily, don't see any flags being waved there, so hopefully all okay from a rider point of view. Maybe just be something with the bike, and that's a little disappointment, I'm sure. 77 to spot out there in this Dynoworks sponsored class as well will be David Lee. Nice to have David with us today. But there we are, back to our race lead, and the margin now 0.57. It was 0.33 last time, so he's just pulled out enough of a buffer to race with him again. So good to watch, and of course, bearing in mind this one that we're watching with our Super Sport class at the moment, 15 laps, folks, 15 laps, so not for the faint-hearted in this racing compared to some of the 8-lappers we've seen, almost double the race duration, and of course a more powerful motorcycle as well. So Super Sport class, these are our 600cc bikes that most of the manufacturers are involved with, and of course the same models that you'll see at World Superbike Racing with Super Sport. We've adopted the same name, formerly called 600 Production, but now using the Super Sport name as they do at events around the world. Of course, looking forward to World Superbikes kicking off in just 5 weeks' time at the end of February for the opening round at our fabulous neighbours across the ditch, Phillip Island circuit. So bring on World Supers, can't get them quick enough, can we? So excited after last year's racing, and more and better I'm sure to come this year. Spider.
All right, so just Suzuki's absolute battle to get out there, and Hassan almost got caught sleeping there. Hassan come along the front straight, and a massive drive from the number 34 of Dan Medham there, just dove up on the inside of him. Absolutely incredible. We're now getting a spread out between the first and second bike. We're on lap 11, and Shane Richardson's got a decent break over, like maybe 100 metres over Cam Hudson. We are playing with lap traffic at the moment. Of course, Shane Richardson is the first man across those, and may be able to catch him unawares. Sometimes the lappers start to panic a bit, and second place going through there might have a little bit more issues, but it can play on the cards of either rider at the moment. You know, you get stuck in behind someone, and that can play on the cards of the other person. But a 1.7 second gap between first and second. In fact, Cam Hudson dropped into the 1.6.5, which is slow really in terms of here, but that just shows you what happens when you get sort of stuck behind lap traffic. Into the hairpin, Shane Richardson on the Wainui Mata, joinery sponsored, Motorhead supplied Kawasaki 600cc bike, absolutely beautifully presented, absolutely awesome. I know his granddad Paul was down here for the last 2 rounds, but had to go up and open up the business, so he'll be watching on Ctas. There it is, Shane goes through the start finish line, the gap is opened up to 2.8 seconds, so I think Cam Hudson's just going to ride with his head at the moment. He's got the point to lead, ride with his head, and just take a second place at the moment and keep on with the consistency. So they'll have a new set of tyres for race 2 today. As I mentioned, the tyre limitation is the first race they must start on what they qualified on, so these tyres will be somewhat worn, but the second race today, I'm sure these guys are going to put on some new set of tyres, slick tyres, or at least, you know, not rain tyres. Looking out at the weather, pretty much the same as yesterday. Grey overcast everywhere, but doesn't look like there's any moisture in the air, Neil Ritchie.
No, in fact, it's just fabulous because the heat is right. We're only getting a high of 23 degrees today, which is very quiet for here. We had, of course, Friday at 33 degrees, yesterday at about 28, 29, so to have a cooler day here today will be great. Of course, with the tar seal and already generating the heat from the bikes, as well as the atmosphere in itself, getting to a nice warm 30 plus degrees, I'm sure. So great weather conditions, in fact, close to perfect, because any hotter, of course, you'll start to get excess tyre wear as well. So there we are now with our 28.61 battle. Shane Richardson, Cam Hudson, great to watch, and that margin there out to 3.2. So nice little buffer to go on there. 37 is spotted in our lineup to go through as well out here. That will be Robert Gibson. Now Robert's effectively a new man as far as super sport racing is concerned, and I'm really enjoying the fact that he stepped up to the plate today, and as he has done over the series. So good to see him as a better performing young rider. But tell you what, the Shane Richardson show here today, just the kind of points that he's needed as we're looking at those 600 points. He's back in third place with a total of 75.5. He's a long way off Cam Hudson. Cam Hudson getting second is very intelligent racing, Spider, because if he does that at a foreign track like Hampton Downs, well, he's got the title so easily won because he did the hard work at his home track earlier on. That's the advantage of being there. He got the bonus points. He proved it with consistency at Teratong as well. If he only got to do the same, if he doesn't win another race, he's still going to be a debut national champion. Great effort, Cam Hudson. But it's the Shane Richardson show out there at the moment by now 3.2 seconds.
Well, definitely the white flag comes out, and it's up to we're waiting for the timing to come through. It's up to 3.3. Still credible riding for Cam Hudson, Cam Hudson there. His quickest lap is a 1:04.753. Shane Richardson just 40 thousandths of a second or thereabouts quicker, and a 1:04.709. So it shows you that Cam Hudson has got the pace, but right now he's just back right off, and we've got 3.3 seconds. There we go. Damon Rees goes through there. Where's this massive battle between these two Suzukis? He's been going hammer and tongs there in 4th and 5th place. 34 Dan Medham, Aaron Hassan. They're coming across lap traffic. You see them going down the back straight there, and nothing in terms of top speed there, but it's all about coming across lap traffic, and Dan Medham is on fire. The Suzuki Series winner, been around here, been racing motorbikes for a number of years, as Aaron Hassan has, but certainly Dan, a very, very mature rider. He went to the European Junior Cup, I think, or the Red Bull Rookies about 5 or 6 years ago, and done 125s, moved up to the 600s, and his biggest scalp he's taken so far is the Suzuki Series. Here we go, Shane Richardson, the checkered flag. Congratulations, another 25 points for Shane Richardson, who also, this is his first pole position this season. There was 1 point for that, so it's his first win this season. So pole position and a win, 26 points all up there. Cameron Hudson going through in second spot there. Jeremy Holmes there, backed off the pace quite significantly, but was running in the 1.4s. In fact, he had the fastest lap of the race, and second fastest lap, sorry. Jeremy Holmes in third place. And we're looking out for Dan Medham. Dan Medham, in fact, they would have gone through. It is Dan Medham, Aaron Hassan. Damon Rees goes through on the number 9.